Okay, everyone, welcome back to Film Critic Life. I have Ellen here. Hang on, have I ever had you on here?
No, you invited me. I think it was for Bridgerton, and then this was during our degree or something, and I was just like, I'm too stressed out. I'm sorry. I can't.
I didn't realise I didn't have you on here before. I think we talk about film and like TV so much.
Yeah,
I just like blanked that one out. Um, but obviously you are the only person I've probably been talking to heavily about both of these subjects, more the second subject we're going to talk about. So today we are going to talk about Stranger Things and Heated Rivalry.
yeah,
Um, they kind of merge, but like not really. But like they're both just relevant right now in our lives.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
just thought we would just do a little chat about it.
At long last, we can begin.
Just go straight in with Stranger Things, I guess. But obviously it came out in three parts basically over the holidays. Final part on New Year's Day. So it's been a little bit. It's now the 17th of January today. So it's been a
Yep.
couple of weeks, and we've had moments to progress, process
Yeah.
what happened and how we feel about it. Have you got any like initial thoughts of how you felt about the final?
Oh, I'm gonna say I have very mixed opinions.
Hmm.
I feel like because I was like, I I consumed so much of like the fan theories before going into the finale that I think I had like really high expectations, and the finale did not meet those expectations. So I feel like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I get that. I'll get into it a bit more like later when we like kind of like go through the sections, but
Mhm.
I think I still haven't been able to rewatch it. So just to
Yeah,
like
me neither.
I've rewatched every series leading up to the series that's coming out. So I think I've rewatched it all at least like six times, like from series one all the way through,
Mm.
because I do adore Stranger Things and I'm such a big fan. But
Yeah.
so I did that, and then Volume One came out at the end of November, and I watched that, and then I ended up watching it again literally like 2 days later. I
Mhm.
then we obviously then had Volume Two come out at like Boxing Day for us in the UK. I
Mhm.
rewatched that again before watching the final.
Mhm.
Final came out. I haven't been able to rewatch the final because I cried like a baby for like
Oh,
half an hour.
bless.
And like even now I still can't just like, and I think it's just like too many emotions. Like I just can't.
Yeah.
I think someone did say like this is like the next generation's Harry Potter, and obviously I'm not in that, but it's still been in my life for 10 years. I was 18 when it first came out. I'm now 28 when the second part, like it's finally wrapped up. And I
Mhm.
think it was just such a big anticipation, and like it finally happened. And I was happy with the ending to an extent. There was a lot of questions have that like I'm just like, what happened to this?
Yeah.
Um, but in a way I was happy, and like I love how like really tiny theories came true. Like there was a theory for ages that someone was like Heroes is gonna be the last song, and so the
Yes.
second
Oh, I
it's
love
like
that. Yeah.
just cried like a baby at like the credits. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
it's over. Like, and it kind of reminded, this goes, it sounds so niche, it kind of reminded me of Twilight, like when the final Twilight happens, and it has like the really like, cheesy end credits, and you're just
Yeah.
like, oh no, it's over. Um, yeah, so that was like my initial like cannot bring myself to rewatch it. But yeah, I do have thoughts on the whole series
Okay.
and a few theories that I know we'll like quickly jump onto.
Mhm.
Is there anything like straight up that you're just like, I'm mad about over Stranger Things?
Um, okay. I didn't go into the final season
Hmm.
like being a massive like Byler fan, but I
Okay.
feel like there was so many hints, and there were just it was so queer coded in lots of ways that I just feel very queer baited. Like
Uh-huh.
I I'm not sure I fully expected it to happen, but I felt like it should have happened just because there was like specific moments in season 5 where I'm like, oh, they're hinting at this. Like
Mhm.
Robin's whole conversation with Will about like Snowball becoming an avalanche. It's like, what was the point of that if it didn't actually become an avalanche with Will and Mike?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I guess that was, I'm not going to say my biggest disappointment, but that was one thing that kind of like stuck out to me and that I know stuck out to a lot of fans.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was definitely poor writing in the final. It's hard. I really don't want to like absolutely because I'm in probably a very middle ground. Like some people seem to just like absolutely have just like absolutely fine with the final series, have no notes, and then there's some people who are like really like this is shit. I feel like I'm kind of like in such a middle ground over it because I did
Yeah.
genuinely enjoy the final series.
Yeah, I enjoyed
But
it.
yeah, there was just loads of nitpicking
Yeah.
for me, and it didn't take it away as such. And I think maybe people keep comparing it to the end of Game of Thrones, and I'm like, no, Game of Thrones was much worse than this because they, just had to quickly like finish the final two series and like didn't do any build up at all.
Yeah.
I do think like okay, I'll talk about. Okay, well, we will touch on a few other theories, but I am going to just talk about Divorce Gate because you said you didn't know what it was.
Yeah, no idea.
Ross. So basically, what happened was Ross Duffer has divorced his wife of 10 years, Leanne, a couple of years ago. So it kind of like has kind of like aligned with creating the final Stranger Things series. She hasn't got any writing credits on it, but a lot of people have said she is the mastermind. This has come from a few sources. And she also has created shows, films like Fear Street, which, they share actors from Stranger Things, such as like Sadie Sink. So it's kind of come people saying like, was she not guiding it anymore? Like, is there this sort of element of a female creator and a male taking the credit? Obviously, there's not. Again, it's obviously a theory, and in a way, it's quite a bad theory, as in nasty. But that's kind of the premise of it.
I feel like another kind of element of it could be this isn't really like Divorcegate, but especially with I know that something came out recently about the fact that the Duffer Brothers hadn't actually finished writing the finale when they were shooting season 5. So I think maybe that might be like a big reason why quite a few people were very disappointed in the finale and felt like a lot of like their questions weren't answered. It was because it was very like last minute, and obviously the Duffer Brothers didn't have enough time to kind of make sure they like planned all of the endings and like answered all of these questions.
Yeah, I
So
think the documentary that's come out is absolutely like people have been able to see like the whiteboard in the background, and they've been like there's like I started to watch it and I just some reason couldn't bring myself to watch it, and I think it's a mix of the opening scene was them doing a crew check. I can't remember what it's called, and obviously because I work on crews, like that's what I do. I was like, this is just too much of my day-to-day life, and I was like, it's so boring. Like being on set is honestly so boring sometimes. Like, the actors, they come in at 5 and but like when they're kind of like ready, then get them on set, and then they have to kind of do this like slow walk around of like what we're about to shoot, and then the crew will then come in when like the director's happy with what he's doing, and then they perform it in front of the crew, so then the hair and makeup and the props and all of that know what they're doing, and it's just such boring as a process. And then the actors have to go off again, completely get ready. Like they're usually mostly ready, but I think there's obviously some shots that have come out now where like James he has Vecna hasn't got the complete final bit of his face on, and that's one of them moments where they would have brought the actors on, they have a little walk around, talk through the scenes a few times, go off, completely get ready, come back, and then shoot it. So it was just like so many of like them little scenes are on in this documentary, and I'm just like, this is so boring. I can't bring myself to watch it. But a lot of the clips that have come out that people are like really like calling them on is these moments where they are like going to like people like like they're saying like they kind of asked crew members like what they thought the final should be, or they're like taking like actors and like I think they were just trying to get opinions of what to do, and I am a bit like, because surely they had an end target like that they were always going to be getting to.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think so. You'd hope so.
Yeah, I think for me it's like it's one of them. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Like I'm not like, I just think it feels like the final, especially that final episode, really just needed someone just to double check everything. And can I just say, I've seen a couple of people blame script supervisors. Fuck off. That's not a script supervisor's fucking job. Yes, they are meant to do continuity, but they can't stand there and like, because sometimes you get script supervisors and only for a few days. The continuity they do is shot for shot, like making sure it's the same mug that someone grabs and stuff like that. Like they don't tell you, oh, where's the demogorgons? Like
yeah. I feel like maybe obviously I don't know what happened, but I feel like maybe they should have consulted the actors more, because I did see a clip of Maya Hawke when they're in like the basement of the hospital talking to, I don't know who it was, I think it might have been Sean Levy or someone else on the crew, and being like, kind of making them remember like, oh yeah, so Lucas doesn't actually know that my character is queer, so I kind of have to actually whisper the whole promising a date at Enzo's to Vicky, and he's like, oh okay, yeah. It's like they'd like completely forgotten that it's like, oh, she's not openly out as queer and this is the 80s, and like you've got this like really obvious bit of like queer dialogue, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to like be really subtle about this. And it's just, I saw that and I thought, yeah, maybe they didn't consult the actors as much as they should have, or listen to them as much as they should have, I guess. Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Noah said in an interview that he had like suggested things about his character, the Duffers, and they hadn't really like taken that on board, or like they went in a different direction or something, which is obviously fair enough because he isn't the writer, producer of the show. But it kind of just these little tidbits that I'm like, bits of information that I'm getting that's not painting the best picture. But yeah.
Yeah. Did you see also like the clip that someone's like zoomed into? I don't know if it's what duffel buffer it is. Their laptop, and they had ChatGPT up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that hurt me.
Not looking good.
I was like, guys, you're actually writers, and I can't.
Well, I mean, we can't know for sure why they were using it, but I mean,
nah, they had too many tabs up. Like it was like
there was three. There was three of them.
like 3 tabs up. Was it like, oh, I don't know. And I think like especially like that bit of dialogue, like going back to like Will and Mike, you know, like,
oh no, I know what you're gonna say.
We're friends. No, we're best friends.
AI wrote that. That was AI. Was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Whose idea was that?
It was so bad. But I think the thing that really pisses me, like, for me, it's really small, like, little changes that would have made this final series brilliant for me. Like, okay, like I said, I think it was good and it was amazing and I cried, but it was just tiny little things. Like first of all, Hopper took most of every, like, he's dead, and I think they just forgot that anyone outside of the core group, like, he's dead to them. And like I think they just completely forgot that he that's the whole storyline, because Max, all we needed was one line of Max going, "You're alive," and then him just saying, "Haven't got time for that right now, kid." That done.
Yeah, she barely reacted.
Oh my god, it was just, and then like, why did we have the teacher in the finals? Like, I don't think the teacher needed to like continue to help in that final episode. I can't forgotten his name. I actually do think, and again, he didn't react to Hopper dying, and then also Hopper just suddenly becoming the head of the chief of police again.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Mr. Clark's reaction, I feel like he was just like thrown into the deep end that you kind of just had to take everything on board and just be like, okay, this is happening now. He was just like, yeah.
He was like, fine. Yeah, but it's just, I just think it's there's them really tiny things. Like, and I wasn't, even though I think we're like, this is our segue into another theory now. Like, for example, like the final scenes, wasn't mad at them. But again, I think we just needed a couple of dialogue changes to make it a little bit more smooth. Like, how everything suddenly was fine and how no, like come on, Hopper and Nancy basically killed loads of the army. So like,
Yeah.
how were they not? But I
thought of
think
that.
we could have had just a really simple like, the hush money or like something like,
Yeah.
how they wanted to cover it up because Dr. K was an issue or like something. We just needed like an extra like half a scene just to like make the time jump make more sense. Do you want to jump onto the main theory that everyone has been going on and on about, and it's got so big that it's actually been in like actually news articles, which as someone in a fandom, I've never had that in my life.
Yeah, that's
when
crazy.
a theory like this happens.
Yeah. Let's go for it. Conformity gate.
Conformity gate.
Let's just dive in. Okay.
Oh my god, this is like the best theory I think I've ever seen, which makes so much sense.
Yeah,
and I just like
I'm a little bit
little,
obsessed.
as someone who is a Taylor Swift fan, I've been like for a really long time, literally every week, there was signs the Reputation was coming. There were signs that like she was about to do something that never happened. And then I feel like Stranger Things has just done the exact same thing, where like everything's like pointing. Obviously, at first, I remember it kind of started off as like milkshake gate. Milkshake theory is kind of how it started, and in I'm gonna get this wrong. I think it's basically in volume 2. There was a couple of things that kind of didn't make sense for the universe we were in. So first of all, we get Will having his coming out scene and him saying about getting milkshakes at, I've forgotten the place's name.
Melvad? Something like that. Yeah, the grocery store or something.
Yeah, which
is it the grocery store? Yeah.
Yeah,
it's kind of like you can't get milkshake, really.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hardware like pharmacy place.
Oh, okay.
Where you can't get milkshakes, but in the Stranger Things, the first Shadow, which is obviously a prequel about how Henry gets where he is, it is a milkshake place. So that kind of started off this like spiral of people being like, like Henry's still in control and like, it's not Will talking right now. And then we also have the moments where Max and Holly are like going through the memories and trying to get out, and they have to look for things that are not completely right. And then you get like the roundabout, and the center of the roundabout isn't the correct color. So that was an indication for them to like hit it, and there's enough gate for them to get to the next memory. This sounds absolutely bonkers to anyone who's not watched Stranger Things, and I hope people are following along. But in the first episode of Stranger Things, we have a moment where Steve has to turn the electricity off at the radio station, and the dial in a scene which is in a later episode is a completely different color. It goes from like red to gray.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense, because it is like, how is this? So these tiny little things of making people indicate that in the final we're going to have that everything was not completely as it seems, and maybe they were doing like an amazing reveal that we were in memories the whole time, and they were kind of tricking the audience, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then through that, I feel like it kind of then like slowly trickled into Conformity Gate, which is that there was a theory that we were. I think you're going to know more than me, because I kind of didn't look into it because I just couldn't bring myself to have hope.
Yeah,
that we were going to get another episode.
Yeah, the secret bonus episode that will never be. Yeah, I mean, it would have been. Okay. I didn't have high hopes for it. I didn't expect it to happen, but
Yeah.
I think it would have been so cool if it did happen. Like if it was just like suddenly revealed, because I think quite a big part of it is that it's conformity gate, is that Mike is the one that's kind of trapped in Vecna's curse, because kind of at the end he's the one who's most conformist. Like literally, like visually the way he's costumed, he kind of looks quite a lot like his dad, and that's like both him and Nancy have this whole thing of they don't want to conform to like what their parents are like. And so, yeah, and I think quite a lot of people, not to bring it back to Byler and Mike possibly being a closeted queer person, it's kind of, yeah, I think it's very much based on the idea that he is trapped in this conformity because it is in Vecna's like curse on him, and the clues, the inconsistencies are kind of like the clues that he'll have to like escape from Vecna's curse. And you know, because he even like points it out in the finale, like how was Elle able to talk to him when like there was like the kryptonite was going, like the noise was going off, so she couldn't use her powers. And it's like that was like the first step of him realizing, and then he'd find more inconsistencies like the audience have found, and he'd be able to escape. Like I think that's really cool, and I'm very much looking forward to reading really well-written fanfics about conformity gate, because it's just such a cool idea, and yeah, I'd love to see more of it.
Yeah, I think if like it's one of them that it never would have happened, because there is no way that they would have been able to like conceal that they've like got one more episode that's meant to come out. I can't really see how. To me, it's given like Taylor Swift Folklore Evermore surprise drop overnight. Like it's like I don't understand how it would have happened, but if they did, and if it did pull off, it would have been like fucking incredible. And like
Definitely.
but I think so many audience members who are, and maybe this is where like you have to look at it and like be like, maybe we're just crazy, because passive viewers would have been like, what? Like, what do you mean that wasn't the real ending? Like, they will just hurt their head. Where I think if it was left in an even more of a weird way, maybe another episode would have made sense, and like most people would have been able to like get bored with it. But yeah, and it was just because there was loads of like little random clues that people have really gone into, like the fact that like loads of people suddenly started wearing glasses, like Henry was in the final like episodes, and like the hair, like Nancy having and Mrs. Wheeler having shorter hair, and all of these like tiny things that I don't mind Mrs. Wheeler and Nancy both having short hair. I think it goes with the time. Like obviously we're about to go into the 90s, and like Princess Di was a big influence suddenly, and like, you know, like loads of women were getting shorter hair, and like the business look was becoming a thing. And so like I think it makes sense, because both of them have pretty much always had quite trendy hair like as it's been going on. And it's really small things that I think people give as evidence. I'm not really sure if it is evidence, is like the gowns were the wrong colour. I think that's one thing that keeps coming up. But that was in a random, I think it was in a random book, and I'm like, but
they were meant to be green or something, like Nancy's green.
But I'm like, well, the Duffer Brothers didn't write that. I don't think they wrote that book. And like, I know it's technically canon to the universe, but I think
there's too much, I think, for them to like remember, and just all it's like you said, especially if they didn't write it, how are they going to remember that?
Yeah, I don't. That is where it comes down, and that's where I would like fully wouldn't let myself go into this theory and believe it. But again, coming from a fandom point of view, this is the first time I've ever seen The Guardian and like Variety and like all of these like news articles discussing it, and like actors actually getting actively asked. Like I've seen John, who's John? Joe Keery got asked recently, and he was just like, no, there's not another episode.
Yeah,
I feel bad, because for them it was their like, you know, and they're getting asked, you know, this is so shit, there should be one more episode, and it's like, oh, sorry guys. But yeah, I'm not mad at like the happy ending as well, and for me it's we will touch on like the deaths, but obviously Elle, the whole I believe So to refresh anyone's brain, it obviously ends with like Will Mike, I mean, coming up with like he has this like theory sort of thing that she's actually still alive because of the kryptonite. Therefore, how was she able to talk to him? And all of these little clues. And if you rewatch the scene of her quote unquote dying, the clues are there. Like for example, like the whole she's got the bracelet on her wrist, which she would have given to Hopper. So that means she didn't have that on her. So it does make, and I did think her sister's death was fishy. This I remember saying it out loud. I was like, she's not dead. Because it was too like off screen of her death. Like, yes, exactly. She has been hurt, but it was the way that next shot she's dead. So like the clues are there that Elle is still alive. So I do believe, I do think it's ridiculously sad that she's probably never gonna see any of her family again. And I really don't know how I do think, I hate saying it because I know people are like, oh, there's such mixed opinions on it, but I do think we needed a death. I think we needed a couple of deaths.
No, I agree with you.
The stakes weren't high enough. Like, I feel like they just defeated Vecna so easy, or like
the final battle was just like it was over so quickly, and it's just someone had to die. I'm sorry. I was disappointed that it's unrealistic that no one died. I'm sorry. Like part of me expected, because Will is very much tapped into the hive mind, I was surprised that he didn't even really like feel anything when the mind flare and Henry died. Like it was just like I thought he was just gonna like crumble to the ground or something, but then it was just he was fine. So yeah.
I think Mr. Wheeler should have died already. I think he should have died like basically the second episode. Like he should have been gone.
Why was he still alive? What was the point of him still being alive?
I think he should have gone. And then I think I don't know, because there was just like so many moments that I think we could have had a character death, but then that final battle to me felt really poor and like didn't really make sense. I think it felt like they were all just walking towards it for so long, and then suddenly it just like turned into this like massive spider, and they somehow were able just to defeat it by running under it and piercing it with like sticks and I know again this is one of the things that in the documentary it does look like the Demogorgons were meant to be a thing, and the bats and stuff, it does look like that was meant to come into it, and so therefore it would have been a bit more of a final battle in the sense of like some people would have been dealing with that, some people would have been dealing with the and maybe this is where I also don't think we should have killed off her sister. I think 8 should have stuck around, because I think it does make sense for 3. We needed the 3 of them, like we needed Will, Elle, and her to defeat.
Yeah, I was so disappointed that we didn't get like that trio teaming up. Like I really wanted to see that, and then we just didn't get it. I was like, oh, it would have been perfect. But
yeah. So it was just like just that little battle. But maybe that's why I've kind of, and also like Joyce. What was Joyce doing that whole scene? Like she was just there, and then suddenly just chopped his head off. Like it just I didn't understand why she was with the kids. It got where like I think her and Hopper could have
baby boy.
Her like
her. I feel like it was kind of badass that she was the one to like ultimately defeat Vecna, because she's such a mama bear, and he had like specifically targeted her son and had basically like she was just getting her own back, and it was just like I think that was a good choice. I enjoyed that bit.
Yeah, I think it was just I don't know. I just think like maybe we just needed her doing more up until that point, because she just was with Will the whole time, and I just felt like she was just like there and just wasn't doing anything until the final moment. So this is what I mean. It just really needed more work on this final scene, and it's hard. It's hard because I'm not a writer. I'm not like gonna say like, oh, guys, you should have done it better. But it's just you did have a really bloody long time to write it and film it and then bring it out. and it just hurts my brain. They just didn't know what and I just think we didn't need them to completely do the Dimension X situation if that was too much hard work. I don't know, like we could have just not even had that whole scenario. We could have still just had it as the Upside Down and like I don't know, it's just I just wonder if they added too many layers and then it just like got too complicated. And
I feel like maybe in a way they were too ambitious, that they kind of forgot about like the smaller moments, the smaller kind of points, and that's why there were like inconsistencies. So they were too too hyperfixated on the bigger picture, making it really like, I don't know, really grand, that they kind of fell short in other areas.
But yeah, like you said, like, so many things have got forgotten, and I think like the Stranger Things, the first Shadow play, which keeps coming up, and I have like, it's just, I liked it, by the way, like it's an amazing play, and I really always hoped it was just going to be its like own entity, and like you didn't really need to like it's a bonus thing if you want to watch it or not. But the main thing that really did need to be identified was the fact that Hopper and Joyce knew him from school. Like it was never said, and I think since when they said like his name, like I think they should have gone, we were in school with him. I don't know, like something just like they weren't best friends with him or anything. Like it's very like casual in the show. Like they're, like it's not, they're not like a little gang or anything. It's just that they just happen to be in school together. So I think we could have just had a side comment about it, like and
maybe he was just that forgettable. I mean,
he was just that forgettable, even though he was apparently dead, and like his dad was accused of his murder.
I was going to say maybe they just only recognised his face, and then they didn't recognise his name. But I guess they should have remembered. Really,
but it's just funny, like, but I don't know. But yeah, deaths, I think we should have had some bigger deaths. And also I think it sounds so bad because I do love Max, but I do think she should have been blind when she came back. That would have made sense.
And I was expecting her to.
I think most people were, also, I will never forgive Hopper from this point onwards. I'm sorry. You've just lost your baby girl and now apparently you're just fine. I wouldn't be. I really wanted them to die together. If Elle was going to die, I wanted Hopper to go with her.
Yeah, that would have made sense. I feel like they tried to rationalize it because Hopper had that conversation with Mike at the memorial, kind of being like, I've gone through grief once, I've found a better way of dealing with it. And that's kind of how he seems to have moved on, quicker than Mike. But still, it's like, I mean, obviously they're making a point of showing that he is moving on in so many different ways. Like the fact that he's like, there's a job opening somewhere else also, and proposing to Joyce. Like I thought that was sweet, but also it does kind of diminish that grief that he must be feeling. I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe he actually knows Elle's fine. Maybe that's why. Maybe he's moving, and then he'll send her a message, and she'll just come back.
Yeah, because I mean, in terms of Elle's ending, I did really like the fact that it was open-ended, and that, in kind of like Mike's version of her ending, that she, would have that freedom that she'd always desired, to be able to pursue a happy ending. But I didn't like the fact that it also kind of implicated the fact that she would be alone again, and that she would be quite isolated and she wouldn't have her found family. Like that was, that's kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, but I think I am choosing to believe, because I just think it's one of them that I think they were too nervous to kill her off properly. So I think she is alive. Even though I think they've said on record they think she's dead, but I was like,
oh really? No.
Yeah, I swear I saw something, and they were like, and even like Sadie Sink has gone, no, I think she's dead.
Well, we're all allowed to make our own interpretations. Our interpretation is she's alive and well.
Absolutely alive.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though I can't figure out how she would have gone on in her life and got to where anyway, she's fine.
She's fine.
She sorted it.
I feel like maybe we should talk about some of like the more positive. I feel like we've been quite negative so far. Like I do have some positive points that I want to make, especially about the finale. Like
Okay.
I really liked the like older teens kind of like endings. I thought that it worked for their characters. Like the fact that, you know, Steve was like a coach and like was working with kids, like that very much suits his character. Like, and also him being a sex ed teacher also is funny.
Absolutely.
It also tracks. Like, I feel like he'd be a good sex ed teacher. He'd very much like, he would not bullshit anyone. Like, he'd be very like, yeah, open-minded about that, I think. I also quite like Nancy's, like the way that she ended up actually like dropping out of university. That felt very her, very like keeping with that non-conformist streak and like just going for what she wants rather than what's expected of her. I also really like the fact that Jonathan has become like a film nerd and he's making like this called like it was like a film about cannibalism being like a metaphor for capitalism, like that felt that was very film student-esque and I quite like that. But yeah, and I really like Dustin's speech. That was like one of my favorite parts. It's just and it's kind of like homage to Eddie, may you rest in peace. I mean, yeah, the way that he kind of like used what like the way that Eddie had inspired him to inspire others. I just thought that was really beautiful, and it was like a really great way to show like the development of how he like handled his grief, because obviously that was like it was very self-destructive in the previous volumes. Yeah, I just kind of like how that kind of progressed and how he was able to inspire others.
Yeah, I will say like Dustin's arc has actually been the best. Like I think it made so much sense that he ended up getting really like kind of like hateful and like in a way self-destructive in the first like few episodes of this final series, and then it kind of like developed to like him pushing people away, and then with like Steve and then them having like coming back together, and it all kind of coming out of why, and it was all because of Eddie, and like maybe that was the reason Eddie was a character, because I guess they didn't want to kill Steve off, so they made Eddie to like allow for this sort of arc for the main characters. But I am still a bit sad that we didn't even see a moment of Eddie. Like we did have like a little moment of like a lot of other people who've been and gone, and I think I didn't need him to come back. I think it would have just been like a little of like something like when they were like, I don't know, I just miss Eddie, man. I just wanted him back, and I know like they didn't seem to go that way at all. I think it would have been really cool if he did come back as like but it didn't go that way. It's fine. I didn't expect him to come back in the final 2 minutes or anything.
I feel like as much as I would have loved it, it would have been a little bit too messy to suddenly, like, especially if because there was like all these theories, like Eddie is like Kaz and that, like, he would be like, kind of like, because of the like demo bat bites, he'd become like a vampire, and like, that would have been so cool, but it also, I understand it obviously kind of wouldn't have worked in the direction that they were going in, especially because with like Dustin's character arc, it kind of would have, I don't know, it wouldn't have been as impactful if they did have Eddie return. So yeah,
that's what I mean about like it didn't. I think a lot of people were expecting this final series to be very like apocalyptic in a way because of how the previous series ended. Obviously that is not how it went, and in a way I think it made more sense because I think they wanted to keep this world like normal, and like that no one outside of the main like characters know about anything, so it does make sense that the army would have just come in and covered up all of the where the earth broke and the and all of that. So it does make sense that, and I did like the army element in a way. I did like how Hawkins had like become like this like compound, like they couldn't get out, and it was all just like very interior. And I think again that kind of then stuck it to, it had to stay just Hawkins rather than like, if it was this actual thing, like it would have been everywhere all over the world if they did like announce like, oh my god, there's now another like other world. Like so I think it kept it, in a way they kept it that small. And yeah, okay, a lot of people like go, oh, it still hasn't got like the same elements as the first and second series, but it's developed, so like I wasn't mad at that. Yeah, so I think the way that they ended up going, I think bringing back Eddie would have made no sense.
Yeah,
It's fine, I forgive
like,
them for it.
yeah. With the whole, they definitely couldn't go back to kind of like that small town America feel, because the whole like it being an army compound makes the most sense, definitely.
Yeah. Do you want to go on to the next topic? Because obviously over the holidays, Stranger Things isn't the only thing that we've all been discussing, but in the UK we have finally had Heated Rivalries come out, so we have finally been able to watch it and understand what the hype is all about, and we're not just watching TikTok edits anymore. So. I don't know how to start this one, because I feel like all I've talked about for fucking weeks is Heated Rivalry, and I feel like I'm going around like this little person that's like, have you watched Heated Rivalries? You would really like it. Like,
it's like, come join our cult.
Join the cult.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people who I didn't expect would like Heated Rivalries have really liked Heated Rivalries, and
yeah,
I adore it. If people are listening and they don't know, it's about what's it about? It's about two ice hockey players who, over an 8-9 year situationship, finally realise that they are gay/bi. One of them's gay, one bi, and they love each other.
Yeah. It's a lot of yearning.
A lot of yearning, and it's a lot of time jumps, and but it's so beautiful. And
yes.
Episode 3 for me was what cemented it and like made me go, I adore this. And like I'm so like in. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, literally. Heated Rivalry has just occupied my head rent free 24/7. It's like literally as soon as I get home from work, I'm like on social media, I'm like all of my For You pages are just Heated Rivalry. Like I'll scroll through TikTok and it's just every single video is Heated Rivalry, and I am not mad about it. I just it's such a well produced show. From the acting, the writing, obviously it is based on Rachel Reed's kind of like game changer book by the same name, Heated Rivalry. And I have read the book, and it's such a good adaptation. It is really loyal to the book, which I love, but I also do love kind of the changes in the show. The direction is amazing. It's just it's so well crafted, and you can just, it's so evident the love, the care, and the attention that's gone into it. It's just, I could gush about it for ages. It's just, it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the main thing that I've only actually recently learned is that Heated Rivalries is the second book in the Game Changer, and so like, but they obviously decided to do Heated Rivalries because the two characters are kind of slightly intertwined in a lot of the other books, so that they're able to keep.
I've seen posts of people saying that Ilya, one of the main characters, Ilya Rozanov, he cameos in like every book, and it's like so hilarious because he just calls people out as like, you're totally gay, aren't you? He's like the catalyst for like basically the romance that's to happen, or he's just there being an absolute asshole, and it's just amazing.
He just goes around and sniffs out the gays. It's great.
Basically,
So we've got Shane Hollinger, and then Ilya. I always say it wrong, but I hear it all the time. Then I'm like, I'm so dyslexic. But played by Hudson Williams and Connor Story, which they have just to fame.
It's actually skyrocketed.
looking at like, because I was like, no, surely they have, because I do see clips of people like showing other things they were in or using clips from other things they were in. So I've looked it up and like I've gone on both their IMDb's, and yes, they have been in other things. This is not like their first ever thing, but it's their first ever leads, and it's their first ever like go at like a proper, where like before they were always having to work as like a waiters or something to keep them able to pay rent and keep going in their life. But this was their first like big like role, and like, we say obviously big role, but to them like I saw the Connor said in a few not long ago that he was literally ready to go back to waiting after doing the press, because they did not expect this kind of like turnout. It's actually mental. And like I do just want to have like a little moment over like, I can't find the budget anywhere. It's not out, so I don't know what the budget was. It definitely was little. I know it's in my head, it's definitely more than the shows I work on, I think.
Okay.
Might not be, because I know that they did stuff like, so much of it is like they looked like they just hired out one ice skating rink for like a few weeks, and they seem to be using it as like the green room. I think they were using it as like the production office, like all of these random things that you need places for, because the amount of behind the scenes where they're just like at the top of the ice skating rink looking down at them filming down below. They had A and a B camera, so obviously that's A and a B camera adds extra money, but it lets you film quicker because you can do like more than one like shot in one scene. There are a lot of cuts where there are scenes where they could have spent money on like 100, 200 extras. They haven't, and they've done it very cleverly with like the press scene, for example, where there's like just lights on them and you never see the people behind. It's a lot of just voiceovers, and so it's incredible. And it was also all filmed in 37 days.
Yes,
which is
insane.
Insane.
Because it's like they literally just over a month to film like diegetically over like a span of 8 years is insane. And the way they were able to like show just visually like the two characters aging, it's incredible, because they'd like jump between like almost like a decade in a day, like with the scenes that they were shooting, and it's just they pulled it off so well.
But this is what I mean, like I want to see the schedule, because like as someone who works in TV and film, I'm like, how the fuck did you do this? Because 37 days is how many days I think I would normally get on a smaller BFI film, like a 10 million budget. So that's why I'm just like, how the hell did you do a TV show in 37 days? Like, it actually hurts my brain. And so I need to know, I need to talk to the first assistant director, I need to talk to the second assistant director, and I need to talk to the PM. Like,
talk to everyone.
them three people, I need to ask them some questions and pick at them, because I just need to know, what did you do with the schedule? Like, the locations are fucking incredible. Well done. Like, casting, I know that like apart like the two main, like we've talked about, like Connor and Shane, but like there are other actors in it, but like again there's no massive name, so I know like none of the money was going on to the actors, but they were like getting enough that I think most of them are in unions, and like so therefore they would have had to be getting actual wages like rather than.
It was a non-union production, I know that much, because I think Connor Story is the only one who's got like his SAG card. Like I don't think Hudson Williams does. I think Connor only got he was only part of like the union from his work on the second Joker film.
I was more thinking of like Sophie, who plays Rose, because she was in Yellow Jackets.
Oh yeah.
So I was more just thinking of like actors like that, and Robbie J.K. who played Kip, like the kind of like actors that you kind of they have been in other things that and they're like in rotation, but they're not like A-listers. Like so I was just more thinking like people like that, they have agencies and they have to be paid as like there's like protocols, so even if it's not an agent's a union production, like there's still like a it's a grey area, but like you still have to kind of like pay them a certain amount.
I mean, I really love the fact that I'm not going to say I'm trying to choose my words carefully. They're like unknown, especially the two leads. That they are kind of unknown actors, and
Yeah.
I really love that because obviously it's like a great opportunity for them, and it just makes the fact that the show is so big. It's
Yeah.
just that much more amazing for the two lead actors because obviously this is their rise to fame and it's so well deserved because they've done such an excellent job at portraying their characters, and I just love that that opportunity was like provided to actors that aren't that big in the business. And it also means that you can kind of just like you can fall into like the world a lot better, not to use like film and television terms, but like the verisimilitude of the diegesis. It's just it feels that much more realistic. I'm not like drawn out of it because sometimes if I recognize an actor, I'm like I just think of them as the actor.
Yeah.
But I think it really helped me just like really immerse myself in the show and like really like feel the characters like yeah, it just made it so much better than I think it would have been if I recognized the main actors. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like also like just going to both of them. I don't know absolutely loads about them personal lives, but so we're filming this on a Saturday, which is actually the end of the week that they've been doing a lot of press. Like I remember like came out saying like they've suddenly like after it came out in the UK like it suddenly just got scheduled for like so much press. Like they have been on the Golden Globes, they've been on like a few of the late night shows, they've been like it seems like both of them kind of been doing back to back press.
They've been booked and busy.
They've been booked and busy, and
Yeah.
it's so funny. And like one who's it, Hudson was just on the catwalk, like
Yeah, in Milan.
yeah, and they both
Become a model.
yeah, and I'm hoping both of them get good. Obviously, it's only been a few like kind of few weeks of them being out in the public, so not just TikTok and like their Instagrams and stuff. So that can be overwhelming in the first place, but actually them physically going out into places and having to have extra security because they're like, oh my God. I saw like they had to get the police out in New York and they had to get like the horses out because of like how much of like an issue it was. But I really hope that both of them have got like a good support network, a good publicist, good therapist. Like I'm really after right now.
I mean, yeah, I'm so glad that they have each other as well. Like when they're doing stuff together, you can just like both of them have said in interviews that kind of like they are each other's like support systems.
Yeah.
Like during like because obviously it must be such a shock to their systems just suddenly being like thrown into like the limelight. Like, yeah, and they're so close and yeah, and you can just they're just oozing chemistry like on the screen, off the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, and like yeah, they're like when they're like together, it's so cute, and you can tell that like they've had to probably get like really they've had to get quite intimate with each other, and so like they've obviously had to like get like that best friend kind of relationship quite fast. But I also think for me, it's just so nice to see these two men just embrace what the fuck they've done. Like they're just like that little bit of like Hudson, like when he's like asked if you got like something for the gays, and he's like, "Love you."
Yeah.
Like they don't care. They're just like so, and like he's so funny because people are saying like, is he media trained? Yes, he is. He's just untrainable. Like they're just saying it as it is. They have been really like just taking it all in their stride. Like they've just, I think, in a way, I think them two being so lovable as well have definitely like added an extra layer to the Rivalry fandom. And like I do wonder if like if you're like if you saying like they're not known actors, like if they were known actors, I do wonder if that would have changed it just a bit. I think them two with being who they are has definitely helped push this. I also do want to say like just another quick thing about crew, because I'm just like about crew. I just want to say like, because I've seen so many films and TV shows in the last like 5 years where like we have filmmakers who go on it, and like as hard as I do it, like a job's a job, and like I'm not in the creative element in like what I do, so I just get you a nice hotel room and make sure you get the script every day. That's all I do. Like, obviously, I know I do more than that, but where you get like art designers, costume designers, all of these extra things, like you can just tell that every single person who worked on this had a passion and like completely again went straight into it, because nothing was weak. Nothing was weak. Like, and I'm just gonna say it, the club scene, like. They knew what they would do. They were making history with that scene.
Definitely. Like, it's so rare for me to find a show that I don't think I have anything negative to say about this show. I honestly think it's definitely for me like the best show of 2025. But I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite shows because of that. You can just, the passion that's gone into it, it's so evident. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I honestly feel like I need to start shouting out like random crew members. Jackson Parrell, well done. Cinematography, bloody incredible. I love you.
Beautiful.
Like producers, like Brandon Brady, well done. Love that for you. Rachel Reed, well done.
Yeah, well done for writing it.
Just go through everyone and just be like, who's the casting? Let's see. Sarah Kay and Jenny Lewis. Well done, you two. Well done. Absolutely incredible, the casting. I will, giving you your kudos for that. Costume designer. And we've got Hannah down. Well done, Hannah. She just like can't find any faults with anyone. I'm trying to think of another department that probably don't get shouted at as much. Production. Hang on, I'm going to go for my area here.
I mean, I got to give a shout out to the Russian dialect coach because
oh my god,
without her, I mean, Kate Yablinovsky, I don't want to pronounce that wrong, but
right.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, the fact that Connor Story within the span of like a couple of weeks was able to like just like not perfect the Russian accent, but do it so well that even like native Russian speakers were like, oh yeah, he totally was brought up speaking like some form of Russian. Like, it's insane.
Like, I've just not had this for such a long time where like everything just seems incredible. I was wondering if they had an intimacy coordinator, and they do.
Yeah, definitely.
So well done to them. They have also done a few other. Yeah, it seems like pretty much like they seem like, because this was filmed all like pretty much in Canada, wasn't it? So it seems like that was that area. Well done to them, because that must have been quite. They must have like been reading the script every day, like and another scene,
yeah.
And another one. I think it was episode. Oh, there's one episode that there's no sex scene. I can't remember what it is now. I think it might be 4.
I think.
There's ones, because 3 doesn't really have sex scenes though, but it does technically, because that's like Kip and Scott, like But I didn't. I think I made a message you. By the way, my mum watched, like, just to any listeners, my mum watched it because when it came out, I was like, I'm gonna watch it, and I was like, can I like have the living room to watch it? And then she ended up kind of half sitting with me, and I was like, FYI, this does have sex scenes in it, and it is like quite intimate, and like, anyway. I do think episode 3 was the only episode I didn't have to skip anything, because it kind of just like, it was fine. Like, it was much more just like very heated, passionate kissing leading to sex rather than actually witnessing someone doing moments.
I think I just fact checked, and I think it's episode 5 doesn't have any sex scenes.
Right.
And episode 5 is actually one of my favourite episodes. Yeah. So I think that tells you a lot about like why I watched the show. It's not for the sex scenes. Yeah. Episode 5 and 6. So good.
Yeah. I do just want to say the club scene again.
Oh no, yeah, that is iconic.
The song choice.
Yeah, that's been on repeat. That's the
So all the things you said, obviously by Tattoo, an original Russian band, like girl group, like that were formed to like do this hypersexual, and then it was just, and then the fact that they kind of played it twice as well, because obviously it was the original, and then they did like the club version, and then it like mixed, and then it goes slow, like slow motion of them just staring at each other, and then it cuts to, oh, it was so good, and it's just, I just constantly am listening to it, and I think it's got well, like, I'm so deep. I know that's one way we're communicating a lot at the moment, is just sending each other like heated rivalry, like TikTok, because like sometimes I just have to sit there and watch one and just go, this is fucking amazing. Like, well done. Like the rap, obviously, like songs that are coming up a lot is like Rasputin. Yeah. And I'm just like,
I love that.
they're so good. And I also just love how like the two lads are nothing like their characters, but I just adore them so much. Like, I never thought I would fancy a Russian, honestly.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Actually, no, that's a lie. Hang on.
okay.
Killing Eve.
Oh, right, yeah.
We're back. Oh God, I've got a boy and a girl version now.
Yeah. Oh, just yeah. The club scene, the yearning is insane. It's just yeah. It's so beautifully done. I mean, everything about the show is so beautifully done. But
So beautifully done.
yeah.
And like, I'm so looking forward to seeing. Obviously, they have just announced like the third book of their story is coming out. So hopefully, obviously, just means that it will just end up in the TV show, because it's going to be out like way before they can even do series 3/4. Like, they have announced obviously 2 more series are coming. I think they realized how big it was, so like commission 2 more seasons. It looks like they might be filming it this summer for. I feel like they might have like, because I can't remember who said it. I don't know if it was Hudson or. But they said that they, in an interview, they think they might be filming it this summer, which makes sense, because I think they must have gone, oh my God, commission it now. And they've gone, get their boys back in now, because otherwise they're going to be like booked. Like,
yeah, exactly. Well, they're still slightly free agents. We need to like.
Yeah, either they need to do 2 and 3 at the same time, or I'm scared they're going to do 2 and then we're going to have to wait a really long time for 3.
I mean, yeah, I feel like they're going to have to wait a little bit longer, just because obviously the third book isn't out. So if they're just doing like a season per book, you gotta wait for the book to be out a little while.
That's the thing, because like we haven't really finished the first book. Like, there's still bits to go in the first book to finish.
It's not that much.
No,
and it
but I
kind
think
of does make sense to have it at the start of the second season, because it is kind of a bit of a time, not a massive time skip. There's time skips all the way through the first season, but yeah.
What's another one? It's fine. Yeah, I see what you mean. But then also, because there's other books, I think they might do what they've done with Kip and Scott, and like be able to like weave the other kind of books into it, so then maybe that'll like lead it, so maybe there'll be like one series where we don't see them as much, and then the 4th series might then be their book. I don't know, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it might just they might have to like drag it in a certain way.
I feel like as big as the show is, I'm not sure how many seasons they're gonna have, and I feel like they should just like
infinite.
I mean, you gotta hope so, but being realistic, because Hudson and Connor must at some point like be booked and busy on other projects. Like they deserve it. So I feel like they gotta make sure that they tell the story that they want to tell in like the kind of confirmed time frame that they have. I don't think they should like bank on there being more seasons, as much as we'd love that to happen. I feel like they should do kind of what they did in this season, where maybe you've got like you've got like hints at other characters in the Game Changer series, like within like the like broader season, but then have like one episode that's kind of committed to a different book. So obviously you had Scott and Kip, and that was the Game Changer book. So maybe, because it does make sense because, like I said before, Ilya kind of like connects all of the books and all of the couples anyway, in some respects. So that would make sense to kind of just like, because it would still be part of Ilya and Shane's story because Ilya would have that interaction naturally with those characters anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I just think like it would definitely be interesting in a way if like it does like flip in a way that like in the same way that we had Scott kind of he was in a few of the episodes and then his episode's his main thing. It would be interesting if our boys are actually then the other way around. So there's only ever like one episode that's like fully dedicated to them two in future seasons, just because like their third book, it looks like their third book is going to be like in the timeline wise, it's going to be quite near the end. So it's
yeah.
so maybe that's the only way that they can keep them along. Like I'm just like kind of maybe comparing it to this is like so hypothetical. Comparing it to like Bridgerton, where like you know like every series we still kind of have the past characters, but you can tell that they're only ever been scheduled for like a week shoot because they're only like doing a couple of scenes. Them scenes are kind of dragged out throughout, and like I'm
that would be cool.
Hypothetically, that's how I would do it as a producer.
Yeah. But I love my boys so much. I just want it to be just them with like other characters like around them. Because there's so much. The Long Game, I've literally just finished reading it. And there is so much content in there that you would need to dedicate a season to that.
Okay.
It's just, and I think it would be really important not to like kind of shy away from it. Like, and I think it does need to be the focus because it does like delve deeper into the characters a lot more. So I feel like to have it mainly focus on maybe a different couple and only kind of like dip in and out of the kind of the storyline for Shane and Ilya, I feel like it would take away too much from like the importance of what they go through in that book and in that narrative. Just because it touches on like mental health and I'm
definitely like coming out because I've seen the spoilers. I've not read the books, but I was just thinking because there's so many books in like in the universe. I was more just thinking like, so if at some point like after, you know, if they do want to just focus on one of the other books, and as you say, like Ilya is just like kind of, you know, I'm just wondering if like that's just how they could go forward with, like I said, more like series 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. God, I hope there's that many seasons. Please.
Yeah.
That'll keep me going.
I haven't got anything else to say now, though. I think that's kind of it. Like, we could probably keep gushing about this.
Definitely.
And, like, I just want to say, like, again, like, well done to, like, the producers and, like, Crave, is it Crave, isn't it? The,
Crave.
Canadian, yeah. Because they've made it, and I just think like well done for actually having faith in something. And I think I'm really hoping this proves, because a lot has happened in the last like year or so, that a lot of like lower budget feature films or lower budget TV shows that have done well, I'm really hoping this really is like pushing that we can start like putting money and marketing towards this sort of elements again, because I feel like they've really gone out like with Marvel and, you know, all of these like big blockbuster stuff like Stranger Things. It's kind of ironic that we're talking about both of them, you know, like one's so big budget, one's so small budget, but like having faith in these smaller budget things that will do well and can do well if someone has faith in them and will like, you know, push them, rather than I for some reason compared something the other day to like the Mean Girls the musical, because I was like, the reason that flopped was not because it wasn't wanted. It was the fucking Mean Girls musical is incredible on Broadway. I also just come over to the West End, but the people behind it was, and I don't want to be like, oh, it was male, but it was a male director, a male costume designer. Like they didn't have faith in the girly pop musical. Like they didn't like go for it and like didn't have faith in it. And I think that's like one big thing. I just think sometimes we are churning out TV shows and stuff that like we are just getting whoever we can hire to go on to something, rather than selecting crew that would be passionate about it. Yeah. And I think
Um,
that's like a big issue, and I'm really hoping this kind of like shows that if you have someone who champions something, it will do well.
yeah, I definitely like, especially with Jacob Tierney did so much for the show. Like, I'm not sure how true it is, but I heard the fact that he approached some like bigger American production companies, and they kind of wanted to change too much about the show. Like they're like, oh, but what if we don't have Shane and Leah have like sex until episode 5? And Jacob was just like, that is not the point of this show.
Yeah.
Like, and they just wanted to change it so much. But Jacob had such faith in like the vision that he was like, no, I'm gonna stick to a much like smaller budget, and it's gonna be a much smaller production. And it paid off. Like I think, yeah, like is it people just need to have more passion and just like more belief in what they're doing rather than just like catering to like I guess like big production companies and like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I actually also, like I was going to say, with the cottage as well. I feel like we haven't actually said anything about a cottage, but I'll just quickly say I just love how that's become a term. Like, have you been to the cottage?
I love how it's such a big thing that it's even filtered into like other fandoms. Like no one probably has ever heard of this, but I'm a massive fan of like there's a kind of online show called Scam, which is basically a Norwegian, it was originally a Norwegian kind of TV show, but there's a Croatian version that's coming out at the moment. And it's currently because so each season follows a different kind of like character and storyline. And the season that's currently on is kind of like a queer storyline. And it's kind of like the first time that the main like character is kind of meeting his love interest. And just everything in the comments is like, we're going to the cottage, guys. And it's just all of these references are like, yes.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think it's just also like just such a nice way to like ask in a way like, are you an ally / are you gay? Like it's just like, and like you understand the wavelength really quickly.
Like if you know this reference, you're one of us. Yeah.
Also, I know I keep sending you TikToks about this, and anyone who's listening, and if you've gone, I'm really jealous. But like the night outs that's happening, I love how like Taylor Swiftageddon was a really big thing, and it still is a really big thing of these like club nights that go around the country, and like it took ages for it to kind of come over to the UK, and now it's here, like it goes around all the cities. But like I think it was Club 90s did it over in America. They did a Heated Rivalries night out, and now it's jumped off. It's going everywhere. They have announced there's going to be some in the UK. I'm waiting for one in Norwich, and yes, I'm going to be dragging you, even if we only go for an hour. Because I think it's the only night out all the like book girlies will go somewhere. But
I'm not a club girly, but I will go. This is the only reason you could drag me to a club. Only reason. And
I love it. And the thing is, there's not that many songs, but because of the TikToks and like that sort of the fandom area of it, like there are just so many songs that are now related to Heated Rivalry that like you can just honestly, it's absolutely incredible, and I'm really jealous of anyone who's gone.
There is something that I do want to mention though, just because talking about I guess like the impact that the show has had, like on the queer community, on the like hockey community. Like there's been quite a few like now retired hockey players that have come out as queer and have said that, you know, kind of a big reason why they've now got the confidence is because they've seen this representation in the media. And it's and it's given them, and even just privately, like I know Hudson in an interview mentioned that quite a few like ice hockey players had approached Rachel Reed and them and kind of just anonymously said, thank you so much. Like this representation and just seeing it's just given them the confidence to at least like let them know how much they appreciate it. it's just so beautiful, just the
Yeah.
impact that this show is having. Yeah.
I know. I think I let you know because this is how we ended up talking about Heated Rivalry in the first place, and you told me I needed to watch it. So yeah, thank you for that, by the way.
Welcome.
I go to ice hockey games, and I've been a fan of ice hockey for like officially for like 2 years. I've been like a fan. I've been a fan of ice hockey much longer than that, but it wasn't until like a couple of years ago that I found out that we had like UK leagues, and that's how I got into it. And it is funny like how many videos have been coming out of like even in the UK like them playing like like Tattoo, all the things she said like during the breaks, and like obviously sent me a video of like the creator Jacob being at a game, and like it's just
and then playing like clips of the show and then like revealing that like the director's there. Like
I know, I love how like the ice hockey team like I can't explain how much I love ice hockey because it's just such a different vibe to any other sport that I've ever like. I've tried football. I understand football because a lot of my like a lot of the males in my family are into football, and then like rugby because they're more fit. I've tried to get into that a little bit, but I can't. I love the female football. That's the only one I'll really get into just because I love the fact that female, especially like the England team are much better than the boys, the girls, the lionesses, iconics. But ice hockey for me, I just adore going. Like it's 20 minutes, and then you have a break. 20 minutes, have a break, and like the breaks are always so like most of the places that you go to, it's so family. Like they have like puck tosses or like duck tosses, like something. There's a lot of like mascots, games, the songs, and in a way, yes, okay, it's a bit American, but I think I just love the atmosphere. It's not like negative, win or lose. We always support our team, and I think that's why these ice hockey communities have just like embraced Heated Rivalry. Like the amount of people who go to ice hockey games like holding up a sign saying I'm here for Heated Rivalry, or like going, are they gonna kiss anytime soon? And it's like it's never in a negative. And I think I saw quite a few things recently about being negative about the boy aquarium, and I can understand how it can come over as quite passive aggressive or like nasty, like making out like that we're just watching the boys just to like. But I think it's a term of endearment in my eyes because it's like we're going because we're like such a support of you, and I think it's just a nickname because obviously they're in a aquarium looking thing. So completely understand if people did not like that term. I think a lot of us are slowly removing it from vocabulary. But again, like I just think it's just the fact that like loads of like I've been seeing so many ice hockey players like getting interviewed over it, and they just love it, and they've gone like, yeah, I'll kiss someone. Like the
that's amazing.
like the masculinity I feel like is like kind of gone out of it, as in the toxic masculinity.
Just all masculinity thrown out the window.
Yeah. But yeah, do you want to do any post shout out to your social media?
Not really. I mean, I guess the only shout out I'd do is to Ticket Stubs Mag. We're not actively posting, but we do have a couple of issues that are out. So we have an Instagram account which is Ticket Stubs Mag, and there's links to our website which have all of our like issues on there. We gush about film, TV shows, other media. So yeah, I feel like it's a very similar kind of vibe to your podcast. Also, you have written for one of our issues, so if anyone wants to check out Liv's articles about yellow jackets and etc., go check out.
Also another sport kind of show about
gay sports show.
No, I will, if you're listening to this on Spotify or YouTube, it will be linked below. I'll make sure all of them links are there. But thank you so much for joining us on this episode, and I hope anyone listening has either had their fulfillment about Stranger Things or Heated Rivalry or both of them. Go to a nice hockey game, support our local teams.